Good evening and welcome everyone. Sunday Night Satsang with John and Michelle.
Hi everyone.
Good evening. Tonight we'll be talking about living from the heart. Living from the heart. Yes, living from the heart. And I think that's something we all need to practice at the moment. And the mind might be very strong with all the situations, circumstances and challenges of life around us. And we have to put our hands on the steering wheel and bring ourselves back to centeredness. So we're going to be looking at that tonight. I think what the world needs now more than anything else is love. And that comes from living in the heart. So we're going to be looking at that tonight. So thank you for joining us and welcome to Sunday Night Satsang. We're going to start as we normally do, and that is that we gently center ourselves in the present moment. We close our eyes and anchor ourselves in our bodies. So if you'd like to just sit back, make yourselves comfortable. Check that you've got some cushions around you, that you're not going to be disturbed. Gently closing your eyes and take a deep breath in. And a long, relaxing, releasing breath out. Let's try that again. A lovely big breath in, deep into your body. And then as you breathe out, make the out breath twice as long as the in breath. Letting go of everything that no longer serves you in this moment. Let's breathe in again. And as we do that, let's visualize taking in blue, fresh air. And we call that presence. So we're taking presence into our body, right down to our toes, up to the top of our head. And then a beautiful, long, releasing, surrendering breath out. Just letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. Let's try that one more time. Okay, breathing in again, breathing this beautiful blue, fresh air into our bodies, pulling our tummy out like a big ball. And then a long, surrendering breath out, twice as long as the in-breath. And just visualize everything that no longer serves you. Just being released. And now just allow life to take over the breathing. This incredible intelligence that lives within our body. Just allow that intelligence to breathe you. With your eyes gently closed, just relax your body. Settle down into the chair. Withdraw your mind from all other times and all other places. And just connect with the sacredness of this present moment. The moment that we are alive. The moment that we are aware. This is the only moment that exists right now. So let's give it our full attention. Becoming aware of everything that you are aware of in this moment, everything you can perceive. You're aware of your chair that you're sitting on. You're aware of your hands, where they're touching. You're aware of your feet. You're aware of any tension, any stresses in the body right now. You're just aware of them. You don't have to label them. Just aware of them. In this moment, become aware of everything you can hear around you. Once again, in Cape Town we have wind. I know other parts of the country has got rain. Just become aware of everything you can hear around you right now, without labeling it, without judging it. It's just the awareness we need right now. Become aware of every thought that passes through your mind. See them as those fluffy white clouds on a summer's afternoon that gently move through the blue sky. See those clouds as thoughts, and they're just drifting through your awareness. You don't hold on to them. You don't investigate them. You're just aware of them. There's no resistance in this moment. We just allow whatever is to be. Relaxing your forehead, relaxing your neck and your shoulder muscles, relaxing your arms, your back, your thighs and your legs, sinking down further onto the chair and into the present moment, withdrawing our attention from all other times and all other places, and honoring the incredible sacredness of this satsang tonight. They say God is closer than the breath. The divine is closer to us than our very own breath. And it's something not to be understood or thought about, but something to be felt. So drop your awareness into your heart right now. And see if you can connect with the stillness of the sacredness of just this moment here and now. We drop our awareness into our heart and we allow what is to be. We allow this moment just to be. We allow the world in this moment just to be. And we bring our attention into that which is closer than the breath. For while the breath is sacred, in this moment, there is something even more precious. We can give it names, but it's not a name. It's not a thing to be named. It's a feeling to be experienced in this moment. The experience of emptiness, of no thingness, of the divine. Which we connect to as we open our hearts. Letting go of all preferences, all judgments, all yesterdays, all tomorrows. And just being here fully in the present moment, here and now. The only place and time that's real. And now gently from this beautiful sacred space within your heart, see if you can connect directly from this space to those that you love, to those that you care about. Within them there is a sacred essence. The same as it is in your heart, it is in their hearts. And in truth there is no separation in this sacred place, this sacred space. Because there is no time and there is no distance. There's just this omnipresent awareness, which we call love. And expand your awareness in this sacred space of presence to all those on this call this evening. To set an intention to open your heart to everyone on this call tonight. Yes, everyone has their unique journeys, the ups and downs, the pains and sorrows, the joys of life. But in this moment we leave all of that. and we connect just in this empty space of presence, of acceptance, of allowing, of appreciation for just this moment, here and now. This beautiful moment of here and now. This sacred moment of here and now. This quiet stillness. That's our true being. We rest for a moment in this quiet place of connection, expanding this awareness out to embrace the whole of Mother Gaia and all her inhabitants. We see within our awareness this beautiful blue glowing orb which we call home. And we open our hearts to all of those beings that inhabit this planet. The ones that fly, the ones that swim, the ones that walk, the ones that crawl. We open our hearts to the trees, the grasses, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, the lakes, the very air that we breathe. We open our hearts in this sacred space within our heart, and we realize that we are connected to all that is through presence. We become aware that this space is a space of the universe into which all the galaxies, all the solar systems arise and fall away within this space, this sacred space of presence. And we are that. And that is our connection to our true being. And we are connected through this energy of love, this energy of presence. And now we take another very deep breath into our bodies, pushing our belly button right the way out as we draw the air right the way in, and then we take an out breath twice as long as the in breath. We let everything go. We just release it all. Let's take another deep breath in again, bringing the air right down to your toes, and then a beautiful long sigh out. Relax every muscle in your body. And having let go of everything that no longer serves us, we gently, in this moment, open our eyes. And as we do that, we become aware of how we feel in this moment. How do we feel? How do you feel? So let us know how you feel. We love to get comments from you. We love to get your hearts. Let us know where you are listening from this evening. We like to know who we're talking to. So thank you. Thank you for being here tonight with us.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome everybody. Nice to have you back. I'm going to lean forward a bit because we're doing this without a mic. So just tell me if my voice is too soft. Okay, so I'm not going to give a long astrology update tonight, but just to say that we've got a full moon coming up on the 28th of Jan. And it's a little bit like the weather right now here. And I know that the East Coast has been faced with a lot of really hectic storms and hurricanes and all sorts of things.
Sure.
And it kind of feels very much like that's the weather energetically as well. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. So here the wind is blowing a gale where we live. And it kind of feels that the energy this week might be a bit blustery. It's a full moon in the sign of Leo. It's opposite the sign of Aquarius. And there's a lot of very big connections there. Mars is still square Saturn. There's a whole lot of sort of slightly conflicting energy. So I think that there probably couldn't be a better time than us to talk about living in the heart. With a full moon in Leo, Leo actually rules the heart. It's the center. It's right here. It's where we connect to the heart. So for me, this full moon is actually saying the way to navigate these conflicts and shifts inside us is by going into the heart. Aquarian energy is very head-based. It's very up here. Lots of thoughts. It's air. It's lots of thoughts, and it's fanned by fire. So if your thoughts are kind of taking over or have been taking over in recent days, then it's just to know that it's probably a clearing. It's not easy necessarily. So stuff's coming up still from a very deep level. We're raising our consciousness, and in order to do that, we've got to see stuff. We've got to see it in front of us in order to shift it. So I think that's for me. That's what this week's about. It's just being as gentle as we can with ourselves, with each other, and as loving and kind to ourselves, I guess, too.
Yeah, and full moon sometimes brings up a lot of emotion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of emotion comes up in full moon. So just be prepared for a week of emotion, and that's something else to be aware of. And, what we're going to be talking about now, tonight, is living from the heart. And that is the center of the storm, the eye of the storm. We do have a lot of wind around us right now in Cape Town. And, as Michelle mentioned, along the East Coast, we saw what Byra was looking like, and the Kruger Park, and I believe it's going to KZN as well. So there is a lot of wind coming in, a lot of movement of air coming in. And always right in the center of any storm, there is also always that quiet eye, that quiet place. Now that eye is the eye of the I am. That eye is your retreat place. It's your centeredness. It's that stillness, that quietness. And we've spoken before about the energy of this year that we're going through, last year and this year. And there is going to be a lot of change on the outside, And it's always to come back to the eye of the storm. And in our body, we have, for example, from a chakra point of view, we have 7 chakras. And the central chakra, the one right in the middle, is the heart. And I believe that we need to make that our home, not a place that we visit occasionally, but a place that we live in, a default place that we go to continually through the day. Because I just believe that the world over particularly the last couple of 100 years, has made a home in the head. And the head is a place of judgment. It's a place of where the storms happen. They happen in the head with the thoughts that we think and the judgments that we hold and the fears and the anxieties. They all happen in the head. And it's fine when the storms are coming, gradually and slowly. But when one storm comes after the other, then we have to find a more secure home. And I believe it's time to drop our awareness from living in the head to coming down into the sacred place that we visited now in the opening meditation, and start to make that the default place, the place we live in. We can visit the mind. We can go into the mind when we need to make a choice or a decision, because that's what the mind does. But we don't have to live there. Very much of our day, very little of our day is really about making conscious choices or strategizing. Probably 95% of the day we can live here, with occasional visits to the judgmental mind.
Yeah, it's the place where we reconnect, and it's kind of I almost see it as it's the center of us, which connects the sky and the earth and everything around us, all the directions, and it happens in the center. There's a beautiful book called Living in the Heart by a guy called Dranvalo Melchizedek, it's a really beautiful book if you could get your hands on it. And he studied this, and he was actually about to do a big seminar convention, and he did his meditation before and had a visitation from, I think it was Yogananda's father in the meditation, and he was downloaded. They basically downloaded a visualization, a meditation for him, and said, no, you're not going to be speaking about what you were going to speak about. You're not going to be teaching them all these things. You're going to be just going out and leading them through this meditation, which is basically taking you into the sacred chamber of the heart. And he did that. He didn't have any option, really. So he did that, and off he went and did his meditation. And he said a lot of the people didn't want to come out of that place because it was such a deep place. And that is the it's a little bit more complex than that, but basically it's quite simple. It's just connecting the love that you have for the sky and the love that you have for the earth, and connecting into the sacred place in the heart, which is what he calls the sacred place of the heart, which he sees as really the center and the sacred. If he says if the soul had a place that it sits, it's in that place in the heart. And apparently there's a place in the very center of the heart that if you touch it, the person will die. And Dranvala Melchizedek's interpretation of that is that's the sacred place of the heart. So when we say we're going into the heart, it's a lot more than just the sentiment of going into the heart. It actually is it's an energy center, but it's our home. It's our home.
Yeah, the heart puts out an electromagnetic field, and I know that some scientists have said it's 30,000 times stronger from the heart than from the head.
Yeah.
And yet we've created a whole society that basically lives in the head. And that is the change that we're going through right now, because the head, just think of it from a programming point of view, from a manipulation point of view. You can manipulate thoughts, you can manipulate people through what they think and what they perceive. But the heart is at a very different level. You can't really manipulate the heart. And that is the seat of consciousness. You know, when a baby is developing in utero, the heart forms 2 weeks before the mind. And there's quite a bit of science to show that it's the field of energy that radiates from the heart that actually orchestrates the movement of the electrons and the molecules and the cells in the body. And that is what forms the brain. It comes from the instructions in the heart.
Yeah.
And they did research on gymnasts, and they found that the impulses from the brain were too slow to orchestrate the movement of their bodies. And they found that when you in any sport like that requires, like ballet or some other sports, the brain is too slow. That their body is being orchestrated directly by this place of the heart. We call it being in flow. When you feel that connectiveness, where you are one with, for example, if you're playing golf, you're one with the green, you're one with the club, you're one with the ball, you're one with all that is. That's when you are in your heart. And your heart connects directly to the universe, as we went through in the opening meditation. And if we continue to only trust our thoughts, our education, our programmed mind, I think that we are going to go through a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. But if we're able to shift back into that beautiful place that we were in as a baby, that heart-centeredness, there's an intelligence there that can guide us and lead us in ways that the mind cannot do that, the brain cannot do that. And so I think as a survival mechanism of the species, it's very necessary to find this place back in the home again and to live from that space. And what is that space? That space is not a place of judgment.
Surrender.
It's a place of surrender, and that was our topic from last week, was surrender. It's a place of acceptance, it's a place of allowing, and it's definitely a place of appreciation. You know, when you feel gratitude, you feel it in your heart. This is where you feel appreciation. When you're busy criticizing, that's coming from your head. You know that. You can feel the difference between appreciation and criticism.
Yeah.
And, you know, on the relationship part of our course, we talk about you know, the one of the major shifts in creating a more loving, a more spiritual relationship is to shift out of criticism. In fact, based on the work of Guy and Kathleen Hendricks. They say if you want a good relationship, the one thing you have to eliminate completely from your relationship is criticism.
Yeah.
And criticism is head-based, because relationships that are based in the head will never last. Relationships that are based in the heart will last, because love is always there. Love is always there. It just gets covered up in layers and layers of judgment and layers of criticism.
Yeah, it's usually coming from our own insecurities in ourselves and our own criticism of ourselves anyway, and that just gets projected out onto the other person or the other people or our country or whatever we're criticizing. So the more resistance we feel in ourselves, the more we're going to push that out and project that. So it all goes back to the same thing, really. It goes back to that keeping an open heart, staying open and not closing. But the mind is very strong, and the mind comes with stories and judgments, and the only way we can really do that I find is to stop. And if you can stop and pause, then you can bring yourself back. And sometimes we don't stop and pause, and we get carried away, and like the wind that's howling, and then it gets really ugly, and it gets windy, and it gets frustrating and stormy. Yeah. So it's just to know that we always do have the choice to actually come home.
Yeah. So I think it's to realize that we all live our lives according to a hierarchy of values, and whatever we value most, that's where we'll spend our time and we'll spend our money. It'll grab our attention wherever our hierarchy of values go. And in the past, we've put time very high on our list of priorities. We've put future very high on our list of priorities. We've put understanding very high on our list of priorities. We've put strategizing and planning very high on our list of priorities, our values. And all of those are head-based. Every one of those, even understanding. Understanding is in the head. Strategy is in the head. Time is in the head. Future is in the head. Past is in the head. And we built a whole society based on that. But we've reached a point now, I believe, a breaking point. Reaching a point, a breaking point. And the system hasn't been sustainable from the moment it started, because nothing in the mind is eternal. It's all transitory. And I believe that we're reaching now a turning point. And the turning point is to come back to that space which doesn't have time, that doesn't have judgment, that doesn't have criticism. We watched a wonderful movie last night. Old movie. We couldn't believe how old it was. Out of Africa with Meryl Streep.
And we saw how old it was. We couldn't believe it because we watched it. It was, what was it, 85?
1985 that film was made out of Africa.
Watched it when it came out.
Yeah, God, we didn't think, well,
it was very nostalgic, wasn't
35 years ago.
Yeah.
We can't believe that we're that old. That must make us over 40. Yeah, but what was so interesting there was looking at Africa in the early 1900s and looking at the indigenous cultures, which were very much heart-based. And then the Europeans came in with their head-based, with their straight lines and their military strategy and their bombs and their guns. And then they brought in their cars as well. And we saw that mindset. For example, I mean, the one tribe was being removed off their land. And the one guy was trying to say, but it's their land. They were born here. They live here. No, this now belongs to the crown, the English crown. Now, that is all a concept in the head. And the Western mind will say, well, we conquered this, so we own it. And the African, which was very much a heart-based, all indigenous cultures come from the heart first. And they couldn't understand that you could own the land. What do you mean own the land? The land owns us. We are flowered from the land. We are produced by the land. We can't own the land. And so there was this massive clash of cultures back then. But in watching the film, it was such a heart-opening film. I mean, we both had tears rolling down our cheeks out of Africa. And there is it really does open your heart. So if you haven't watched that movie in a while, it's on Netflix.
And I mean,
it's definitely beautiful.
Africa is, if you look at a map, Africa is the heart. We are the heart of the world. We're not the head. We're the heart.
We're the heart.
So
Africa's
we're
the
right
heart.
in the middle of the work that needs to be done on our planet. We are right there in the center of it. And it is a heart base. I've spent a lot of time in rural areas and working with Zulu people, working with Maasai people, working with Kikuyu people up in Kenya. And really, especially when you get into the rural areas, very, very heart-based. The most hospitable people you will ever meet in your life. They will give you their last they'll give you their last glass of Coke because you're a guest in their house, even when they don't have any money. They'll give up their bed for you. There's no head there in terms of that. Very close to the land, very close to the movement of the seasons. They live in connection with that. That's why it's always so tragic when they lose that connection, because it's such a vital, such a huge part of them. So I think that's what we're relearning, not learning, but
remembering.
We're remembering it.
Yeah.
Because it is us too, but our minds have taken over the show.
Yeah.
Even in the movie, she teaches them. She builds a school and teaches them English. And I think it's Finch Hatton says to her, well, you don't need to teach them anything. Why are you teaching them this stuff?
English.
You're teaching them mind stuff.
Yeah.
So there's obviously different opinions on that, but there's an immense knowingness in a heart-based culture. There's a connection and a knowingness that doesn't come from the head.
Yeah. And if you look at the way we built society on the beautiful, wonderful gift of the left brain, which has given us the ability to create the technology that we have now. And the promise of technology was that it's going to give us a lot more free time. It's going to give us a much higher standard of living, less stress, because technology will give us that leverage in the world to produce the goods and services that we need. And yet, if you think back to the lifestyle of maybe your grandparents or your great-grandparents, they seem to have had more free time. I mean, shops were not open. And I remember on a Saturday afternoon and Sunday, those were rest days. They were rest days. And now with the world that we live in, every single day seems to be a work day. Now, that is what technology has given us, because technology is neutral. But when technology is used under the auspices or under the control of the left hemisphere of the brain, it is mad. It's used to enslave the human species. Now, I think that we don't need to give up the left hemisphere of the brain. We don't need to give up our ability to strategize and to create technology. But I believe it needs to be now under the auspices of the heart. And the heart is an organ of connection. So instead of disconnecting people, working with fear and dividing and conquering and ruling, which is what the mind has done, we need to take this wonderful technology that we have created and reconnect with everyone on this planet. That's every creature, every element of the earth. Reconnect it. And there's a wonderful woman that I follow in America. What's her name? I've just forgotten her name. Austin. And she says, she's a banker, and she says, when we start making investment decisions based on what's good for the whole rather than what's good for the individual, as an individual company or individual investment portfolio or individual country, when we start making investment decisions based on what's good for everyone, we will unleash wealth and prosperity this world has never seen. And I think that is our destiny. That is our future. We just need to make this breakthrough from the head, from the divide, conquer, and rule, back into the heart, where we recognize we are the rivers. We are everyone that occupies this planet. It's one planet.
We're the weather. We feel the weather.
Correct.
We're part of it.
Yeah.
It's not separate from us. And I think this is the big realization this year, is that we're not separate.
Yeah.
We are part of everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's also really interesting if you look at things like art, music, dance, the things that reconnect us. They're not head. If you get into your head, when you're in the middle of a dance, or when you're in the middle of a painting, or when you're in the middle of playing music. You're going to go off key, you're going to give note, you're going to lose your balance. You have to be, it's got to be coming through you.
Yeah.
You can't be thinking about it. As soon as you think about it, you're going to lose it. And that's why art, all the arts, are so important. Song, I mean, the movie again, the songs that they played, those beautiful Kenyan, oh my goodness, over the plains.
Traditional singing, yeah.
That beautiful singing that just opens your heart. You just find tears rolling down your cheeks. Why? It's because it opens your heart. Music opens your heart. Singing opens the heart. Even when you sing yourself, when you sing yourself, the energy's moving through you. When you're dancing, the energy's moving through you. So those are things that they've been curtailed quite a lot with the onset of technology, because a lot of our time now, many people, is spent on devices and not actually using the natural materials and that kind of thing, which reconnects us. So when we do workshops, we work with materials like clay and paint, and it's instant. The minute you put your hands on a piece of clay or get your hands in paint, it opens something up. It opens up another part of your brain. So I think that that's something also we need to do more of now, because there's so much information coming at us, and we're responding and replying. And as John said, we don't really get time off, because you've got these devices that follow you around everywhere. So you're always available. In the old days, back in 85, you could go away for 3 weeks and nobody knew where you were at all. They couldn't get hold of you. There was no phone. Oh, John's gone away.
Yeah.
You'll see him in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
If things collapse before now and then, well, sorry
That's
for
the
you.
way it is.
We don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
It's constant surveillance of where we are, what we're doing, when we're doing it. So I think it's up to us to inject that earthiness, that connection back.
I'm going to call that sanity.
Yeah.
And it's by coming back, stepping back, pausing, as Michelle said earlier, stepping back into your heart. Then you start to see the insanity of the world that we've created. I mean, if you look at the way that we've processed the sort of strategy to deal with a virus, and it's to shut down the dancing, to shut down the music. If you think of how many musicians, I know some, we know some personally, and they haven't been able to earn a living in the last 11 months. Musicians and restaurants, places of communing, have all been shut down, because from the left brain's logical point of view, that has no value. That has no value. And yet it's got the major value. Dance, celebration, music, being outside in nature. That's the richness of life. That's where your immune system is boosted. When you're listening to uplifting music, you know what happens to your immune system? It gets elevated. I promise you, there's no virus going to come into you if your vibration is a very high level. And they're all being shut down by the left brain, because the left brain is looking at it from a particular perspective, a particular viewpoint. And I believe that needs to be overridden now by the heart. The heart celebrates life. It's not fearful of life. It celebrates life. It celebrates life through music, through dance, through art. And I believe that's the real way forward. But it's not going to come from top-down governance. You're not going to find any sort of authoritarian government telling you this, because authoritarian governments are based on the left hemisphere of the brain. It's based on strategy. It's based on control. We, the people, I believe, need to reawaken the heart and to realize that there are things of a much higher value than technology, than production, than money. And as we start to make this shift in our values, as we start to value music, space, quietness, connection, higher than protecting ourselves from a virus, I think that this will completely, it'll be an inside-out job to change the world. It's not going to happen from logic, from control, from that point of view. It's got to be heart-centered. And that's our job, because each of us have a heart, and each of us can contribute to a new way of being in the world. This is vital. I believe it's vital for the survival of the species, because we live in an insane world, and as many people, Albert Einstein and many other people said, that this will ultimately destroy the human species. The human species will be destroyed by their own technology. And it doesn't have to be that way. I believe that we're going through now a place of complete awakening. And awakening is being able to make conscious choices and to choose to live from your heart, not from your head. Now, living from the heart is a place of trust. We have a wonderful affirmation in front of us. It says, I now trust life. I now trust life and feel no more fear or anxiety. I am now free. I'm going to read that again. I now trust life and feel no more fear or anxiety. I am now free. That's a tremendously powerful affirmation, that. And just along the lines of that, so we run 13-week courses. We're starting a new one on Thursday.
28th, on the full moon.
On the full moon. How about that? And it's called Journey to Freedom. I mean, that's what the 13 weeks is called. So it's exactly what I've just read from that affirmation, that it is a journey back into freedom. Out of the fear. All fear is in the mind. All anxiety is in the mind. The love of the heart is not about fear. It's not about separation. It's not about protection. It's not about fearing death. The heart knows none of that. And this journey, this 13-week journey, is a journey, very practical journey. We give you practical tools, exercises to do to lead you back into the heart. And those, I know some of you are listening tonight, some of you who have been on the course with us, you can attest that this is a journey back into the heart. That is freedom. That is true freedom. And just an invitation, if you want to join us on Thursday, we have a Zoom meeting, an hour-and-a-half Zoom meeting on Thursday night, South African time, 7:30. And 7 o'clock Thursday night.
8:30.
An hour and a half. And we will open up the discussion for the first week. And the first week is?
Vision.
We're going to look at your life vision.
Yeah, so we've decided to make the first week life vision, which is really, it's kind of a little mini course on its own, but it forms the first part of our 13-week journey. And it's really asking those really important questions, what does freedom mean to you? Who are you, really? What do you really want? And what is your life vision for 2021? Because whatever our state is that we're in is going to determine what our reality is like this year and every year. So that's the choice that we have. We don't necessarily have the choice of whether we can change the weather. And I'm talking about all the weather. The economic weather, the political weather, the health weather. We might not be able to change that. But we can change our state. And that's where the breakthrough happens. So that's what we will help you do over the weeks. But you're welcome to join us for the first week for free. It's a standalone module. Yeah. It's a standalone module called Life Vision. Yeah. And it starts on Thursday night, the 28th, and it goes through to the following Thursday. If you're not able to join the Zoom meeting for any reason, that's fine, because it is recorded and you can catch up the following day. It's absolutely free for the week. You get a web page open once you register, and all your week's work is there. We give you journal work, we give you guided teachings, meditation, affirmations for the week. It's all there on your page. Yeah. And you've got 7 days to work through that. Yeah, and this week, the first week, there's 3 teaching videos, there's 2 visualizations, there's a creative project, and there's a journal. So it's a really full little journey on its own. So join us. You have nothing. No obligation at all. No charge for it at all. You just go to our website, journeysofawakening.com, and you'll find a little registration box there. You just click on that, give us your details, and you'll be sent an email giving you all the details. The material. And the good news is that those of you who would like to join us for the full 13 weeks, well, you're most welcome. And we're going to be giving away 1 full bursary for the whole 13 weeks. It won't cost you a cent to do the whole journey with us. All you have to do, there are some terms and conditions. You have to attend both the Zoom calls, this Thursday and the following Thursday, and you have to go through your work.
and you have to motivate why you deserve this bursary from us. So it's laid out on the website,
Yes.
and you can email us with that, and you stand a chance of getting the full 13 weeks absolutely free. And we'd love to have you with us. We really would love to have you with us on this journey. We see the transformation in those who do travel with us and those who do the full 13 weeks and who do participate actively in the journaling and the Zoom meetings, and the transformation is really beautiful to see,
and
the life changing.
It's really designed to bring you home, bring you back to love, and to build that taproot that I'm always going on about, the resilience, because we're going to need it. We need it now, and we're going to need it in the future. And life will always present change and will always present challenge. That's the way life is. And I was listening to something where they were saying, I think it was Ogmandino, power positive thinking, way back then. And he said the problem that we have is the belief that there shouldn't be problems.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because there will be problems, there will be issues, there will be challenges. That's a given.
Yeah.
We're going to have times when the seas are rough and times when the seas are calm. And when the seas are calm, we know that there'll be some rough seas. And when the seas are rough, we know that there's going to be some calm seas, because that's cyclical. And the other thing is that nothing lasts forever, because everything's cyclical.
Everything changes.
So this too will pass and will shift.
Yeah.
And so it's those things. It's just to actually keep bringing us back into that knowing.
Yeah. You know, wanting to live a life without problems is like going to a gym and there being no resistance training at all. There's no weights to lift. There's nothing to resist. I mean, what is the point in that? Through the resistance, we build the muscles. Through the challenges in life, we build the spiritual muscle. It gives us the experience of the human journey. That's what challenges do to us. All we need, I believe, are the spiritual tools. The taproot that Michelle mentioned earlier is really living from your heart, living from that connection to life, living from that place of trust, of knowingness, of tapping into a higher guidance, being in flow rather than trying to paddle against the current all the time. So that's the gift of the times we're going through, the gift of challenges, because it gives us that the opportunity to build the spiritual muscle.
No, because the suffering comes from the thought that this shouldn't be like this.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. I've done something to deserve this. I've done something wrong. We've done something wrong. It shouldn't be like that. That's where the suffering comes from, as opposed to this is happening.
Yeah.
So therefore it needs to be happening for whatever reason, and then we can choose how to deal with that. But it takes practice. It's like any muscle, I think.
Yeah, so if you go to the gym and you're busy pushing weights, you think, well, the weights shouldn't be so heavy. They should have helium balloons on the end of this bar. You know, I mean, that would create a lot of suffering. And we absolutely point this. So we provide you with the guidance and the tools to shift your experience from resisting problems and challenges to actually dealing with them, navigating them in a very centered way, centered from the heart. And everything changes when you live from the heart. So I think we're going to ask Michelle to take us into a heart.
Rebecca, this too shall pass. Everything will be all right in the end. If it's not all right, it's not the end.
Yeah.
From the Marigold Hotel.
Yeah, that's right. I love that movie. It was another really nice movie.
Yeah, it was.
So we're going to ask Michelle to do a living in the heart meditation, very powerful meditation. And at the end of the meditation, we're going to draw an affirmation for the week ahead. So do stick around. It's worth doing this heart meditation. I think it's the way through. It really is the way through. It's to learn to live from the heart.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to lean forward so you can hear me. All right. So deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. And a beautiful, long, deep breath in. Filling up your lungs. And then on the out breath, just let it all out. Just soften everything. Let it all go. Soften your shoulders. Just soften. And one last beautiful breath in. Fill up your lungs, fill them up, fill them up, fill them up. Hold for a second. And then sigh it all out. Just sigh everything out that you don't need. And just feel yourself dropping a little bit further into presence. Now focusing your attention on your breathing. Just allowing it to breathe you. Allowing your breath to breathe you. Allow your breath to become smooth and easy. No forcing. Just noticing how it naturally just flows in and out without a lot of effort. And with each exhalation, feel your body relaxing a little bit more and a little bit more, letting go of any tension, any anxiety, any resistance. Now gently take your attention to a place in nature. This is a place that you feel to be absolutely beautiful. It's safe, it's secure, it just fills your heart. Whatever that is for you, could be a mountain, lake, forest, beach, desert. Connect with a place which is the most comfortable place for you, the most beautiful place for you. A place that brings you peace and joy. See this place in your mind's eye in as much detail as you can. Get a real sense of it. See if you can get a sense of what the colors are like, what the temperature is like. Maybe getting a sense of the time of year, time of day. Make it as vivid as possible. Imagine picking up something from this place, something beautiful from nature. Imagine lifting that up to your nose and smelling it, touching it, connecting with it. Becoming aware of any animals or birds, or if you're near the ocean, sea life. If you can really connect with the scene from nature, as if you were there. Start to feel love for this place. Feel it in your heart. Love and gratitude for this beautiful earth. It holds us and nurtures us, provides for us. And just continue to grow into this space of love with nature, till you can almost feel your heart beating with the rhythm of this place. You can feel Mother Earth responding to your love. If you can feel that love that you have for Mother Earth. When it feels right, imagine putting that love that you feel in a beautiful sphere of light and sending it down from your heart, through your feet, deep into Mother Earth. And just keep sending this love into Mother Earth. If you're not feeling it, it's okay. It's just the intention. That's the important thing. Keep sending love into the earth, into this beautiful earth that has supported and provided for you your whole life. And then be open to receiving the love back from Mother Earth. And this comes in a form of a wave of energy. It might have a color. Just notice that color. And allow this beautiful earth light energy to come in through you and fill you up. all the way up your body. Allow this beautiful light energy to enter every cell, every molecule, every single piece of your body. Feel this beautiful love which Mother Earth has surrounded you with. And just feel it filling you up. Feel it in your heart. Open your heart. Surrender your heart to this love. And now gently, without breaking this love union with Mother Earth, take your attention to the sky above you. Imagine your attention drifting out into the heavens at night. You can see and feel, connect with the Milky Way as it meanders across the sky. You might get a sense of the planets and the moon moving around. You might get a sense that the sun is hidden beneath the earth. And as you drift in this very quiet place, you realize the infinity of space. The infinity, you realize the vastness of this universe. As you drift along, one with all of this, know that you're connecting with, you could call it the Divine Father. You put your love into a small sphere. When you feel that love, that gratitude for the universe, for space, for light, for air, feel that gratitude in your heart for the ability to communicate through the air, travel, talk, speak, hear. When you feel that gratitude, put that gratitude, that love, also into a small sphere. And with your intention, send that out into the heavens. Just send it out into the huge infinity of the universe. And then stay open, open your heart, breathe into your heart, open it and expand it. And allow that love from the above your head, from the sky above, from the universe. Allow that light to come in through your head, into your body, all the way through your body, igniting and flowing through every cell. Send it everywhere that it needs to go, and then let it settle in your heart. So you have the light from the sky and from the earth, right in the middle of the heart. We could almost see this as a holy trinity. The Divine Mother, the Divine Father, and the Divine Child connecting in the heart. And it's in this place of consciousness that we can connect directly with the Divine. So just allow yourself to soak in and sink into this beautiful place of your heart. See if you can soften and open even more. If you like, you can imagine a beautiful donut-shaped torus. Imagine a shape like a donut of energy sitting around your heart. Almost like the middle of the donut is the hole, and there's a vortex, creates a vortex. And imagine sending this beautiful heart energy, your focus down through this vortex, dropping down into the middle of this donut, like a leaf floating on a river. Just let it go round and round and then drop in to the center, and into this center, into this sacred place of the heart. And just rest in this sacred place of the heart. This place where you're connected to all that is. You're one with all that is. Your home. And now take a beautiful deep breath in. And a gentle breath out. Put your hand to your heart. And say thank you.
Thank you.
I now trust life. I feel no more fear or anxiety. I am now free. Thanks, everybody.
That was beautiful. That was really nice. Thank you. Living from your heart, it's the only place to really live from, isn't it? It's a no-brainer. As we value that higher than the stories in our head, life changes. We become more loving, more connected, and we feed that into the earth. So thank you. That was really beautiful. Thank you.
And it's not difficult to do. So just connect with the earth, connect with the sky, and then drop into that place.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. We've got some affirmation cards. Let's just choose one for the week ahead quickly.
Close my eyes.
I know we've gone over time, but let's just see what we've got.
2 minutes.
Right, what do we get? Well, with her eyes closed, she chose a green one. And green is the heart chakra. So it's a heart energy, this affirmation for the week.
It's pretty apt. I am peace and I radiate love into the world.
And that's beautiful. I'll photograph that and put it up on my Facebook page in a few moments' time. So I am peace and I radiate love into the world. I don't give love, I just radiate it. Yeah. There's no doing, there's no achievement, no accomplishment. I just radiate it. So let that be our affirmation for the coming week. And we look forward to meeting you all on Thursday night for our beginning of the Life Vision week.
Please.
Yeah.
Please join us.
JourneysOfAwakening.com.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bless you all. Have a fabulous week, and maybe we'll see you on Thursday night for the full moon.
Thanks, everybody. Love you all.
Nighty night.